Will your counterpart, well then, show warmth towards you, show again, approach you, stand by their feelings? That is the question we are asking collectively today. We are capturing the energy from the present moment, and we will take a look to see if your counterpart is undergoing a change again. If you perhaps see your counterpart now, feel them, where you think, wow, what's going on there? It doesn't suit them at all. I don't know this person like that at all. And now we will take a look to see if your counterpart is coming back to their feelings, moving in your direction. Dear ones, a very, very warm love hello. Feel yourselves warmly and tightly embraced by me. And I'm delighted for each and every one of you who is here again watching this video. And dear ones, the reading is for the collective. The person cards are gender neutral, and it may not apply to everyone. And yes, also regarding time, time is fluid. You yourselves always control the time. So we are tapping into the current energy and taking a look. What's going on with your counterpart? Caution, proceed. What's happening there? So I am focusing on the question regarding your counterpart. Concerning the feelings, how the warmth is coming in your direction. So we have the Five of Cups, Five of Cups. Your counterpart is currently in pessimism, deeply in disappointment with themselves. And here is also this. Your counterpart is in a painful process. And there is this, he is currently completely somehow failing. And it is happening internally for him. He regrets a lot here. And yes, it is also about his own mistakes. Here, a new beginning is also shown. A new beginning. And we will take a closer look now at what is going on. He is currently in a defensive position, defensive stance. And he sees it somehow like the glass is half empty. Yes, I see this pessimism very strongly in your counterpart. Then let's see what else is there. What else do we have there? Yes, King of Swords. King of Swords is like this observation in your counterpart. It is like this uncertainty as well. And this boldness, I see him very much in thought. He is completely driven by his mind right now. And it's like always just the thoughts, maybe a bit arrogant right now, reckless, also reckless towards you, because I see him very dominant, like in the head area. So there, it's like this, the head rules, but the thoughts, the head, it doesn't really know either where to, and yes, there, is he stuck in that? Especially the material aspect, there are a lot of thoughts about the material, about what matters to him. And there is this focus on the material, the financial, like floating on the surface. And there is also this reflective and retrospective thinking, what once was between the two of you or what else there might still be there. Yes, there are these thoughts that are still blocked. Growth, whether there are still chances for a new momentum, especially in love, between the two of you for momentum to return. And this retrospective view is completely aimless, yes, but then also very strong uncertainty, because there's also a bit of this dreamy, lingering feeling, and then also this dreaminess which now wants to come out a bit again. but I sense very strong uncertainty in your counterpart. So now let's see if we can gain more clarity. Do I even have sound? Yes, sound is there. Very strong to see the distrust, and really also completely the jerk, the withdrawal of your counterpart, the distrusts itself and doesn't really know where to go. Pure pessimism, completely in doubt. Doubt what is right, what is wrong. Doubt even in love. And there you have this. Yes. One or the other might have ended the connection with you here. It has retreated, closed itself off. Maybe ended the relationship, ended the contact. And is now completely in doubt here because they didn't find the decision good. Now showing you this coolness, this coldness as well. Coolness, this pessimism, and this always the retreat, just don't make any mistakes. Very strong. Here focused on work, on money, or generally activities related to finances. He must not make a mistake here, but it also seems that quite a lot is going wrong at the moment. So things aren't working out in this area either, because I strongly sense the loss also from official channels now. These could be authorities, I sense quite strongly, these loss situations, these difficulties, complete blockages, and nothing works anymore. So I see wrong decisions with him. I see bad investments with your counterpart, wrong decisions. And also professionally, I see him too, the activities. That there are always these, well, missteps are involved, so that it doesn't quite work. I would say partly with half-hearted effort when he does something here. Or she, as you know, we are a bit collective. Yes, then your counterpart, I see, very dominant here. The disappointment, the sadness are present. Yes, but I also have no fears here of doing something wrong. And here is also the disappointment in communication. He knows that he has disappointed you. He or she knows that he has disappointed you. I have anger. Anger, very strongly present here in the professional area, in the financial area, in his environment. I have stress here with authorities, anger with authorities, with offices. It could also be banks. So there are several things with authorities. That here probably for some, maybe also a few legal matters are involved a bit. Are in the banks. And yes, I see this, well, completely. How do we say this heaviness? Also this, I see this annoyance very much in your counterpart. He is completely in his head, completely withdrawal, distrust. He even distrusts himself. He no longer knows where he wants to go. And he also lacks warmth towards himself because he no longer truly has that trust. And everywhere I see complications, difficulties, obstacles, he is very much disappointed and is disappointed in himself. I have a lot of sorrow lying there. Sorrow in his determination, this complete grasp, this straightforwardness, I see a bit blocked in your counterpart. And as I said, the withdrawal towards you is very dominant. There is this, yes, I have him very drained, lying there, so very energyless, powerless. And yes, functioning. He's just barely functioning right now. Also the question of going back again, whether your counterpart in your direction shows this warmth again, but goes into this feeling, into the emotion. Dare I say, you are already a point for your counterpart. And he is currently still blocked regarding his solution, but is already on the path of change. The change to resolve this torment, this burden that your counterpart has. To come to terms with himself here towards you, because he already feels that the feelings are there. He tries to push them away. Yes, He is currently blinded by others, by external factors, by his entire environment. So I would say everything has come together, and your counterpart is overwhelmed with everything. But your counterpart is also like this, that he is slowly reconnecting with his heart now. He still doubts it. I can clearly see the doubt here. But I'll just cross out the but now. The doubt whether he can fully give you this love because he feels how much you love him or her. And your counterpart is on the way to getting back to that. He feels it and it keeps coming up. So very small moments, but these small moments also bring fullness. They also give more here. It depends on the quantity, also the volume, which then fills up like in a bathtub. If you keep letting water run in, it eventually gets full. And that's exactly how I see it with your counterpart. He is already constantly in doubt about whether he can ever manage it, whether he can ever give you that, whether he is even capable of a relationship. I see that. But that's also his issue. It always came up, it didn't work out. And there he was disappointed, or he disappointed others. Nothing worked out at all. I also have a major issue, jealousy, and also a bit of control, like a compulsion to control. Partly it's a compulsion, let's put that in quotation marks. But still, this control, his counterpart has completely lost his routine, his control over himself here. I actually have him here in tears. The inner tears, the sadness, the sorrow, the grief, because nothing is working, regardless of whether your counterpart has now made contact or something else with another person. I also see that if this is the case, it is not clearly shown here, but if it is so, I see your counterpart also here in emotion, very much in sadness, because your counterpart is now waking up. Now he is slowly starting to think about it, slowly beginning to feel his heart again. And your counterpart will come back to you. He also has the thoughts whether you might doubt him or doubt her, but the emotions keep coming back very dominantly. Up the emotion that he is now totally sad in the situation he is in, but also the egoist who says no, this radical, this coldness. I also love him partly for being so cool-headed and completely selfish. You will also notice, or have already noticed, his behavior pattern is such that you think, wow, I don't know him or her like this at all. What is going on here? And that's because the person opposite you has completely lost themselves. He no longer knows himself. Nothing is working anymore. Nothing is going according to plan anymore. Everything has gone off the rails, and nothing is the way it used to be. And more he is coming to the feeling that he misses you, and he knows that he was cold to you, that he treated you unfairly, that his current behavior towards you is unfair. And this makes him reflect and also wake up, because the person opposite you will seize the opportunity. Again and again, this retrospective view that we have there concerning the past, this warmth that you emit, and the person opposite you longs for your closeness. The person opposite you needs you. You give him warmth, his environment, whether male or female, whether a new relationship or a relationship, yes, in quotes, because it's neither here nor there, just an escape for the person opposite you. And there he feels this coldness. This person is now waking up to the situation where he is only given coldness from the outside. You are the person he perhaps didn't see properly for a while because you gave warmth. And that's where the longing comes from, to accept this warmth. He misses you, misses your closeness, and he is gradually getting closer to this point. And yes, I also see that you will receive a declaration of love from him. You will also feel it. It will happen very quickly. The submarine, which is currently still a bit submerged, will surface, and then it will also happen very quickly, where you yourself will be totally surprised. And what's going on now? And then you naturally think, okay, is this just a brief appearance? And then he's gone again. But I see consistency. Everything will become consistent between the two of you. Even the contact, I also see meetings between you. The meetings, the communication between you, whether it's just communication or also in a personal meeting. I see the communication in general, that your counterpart will also open up to you and express what is on his mind, that he is also disappointed in himself. And I also see an apology coming your way, that he is sorry, and also that you are asked to forgive him. You will see and feel the soft side of your counterpart, which you no longer really think about or believe in. Your hope has also faded away. But your counterpart is waking up, and the solution is definitely here, ready for what is coming your way if you allow it, if you still want it. This change, this turn for the better, it will lead to healing. I have reconciliation here, and this difficult phase that is happening right now, in this process your counterpart is going through, will be completely replaced, because he is coming back to feeling himself, sensing himself, and realizing that he misses you, because I see a great sense of missing here, the longing, the missing. In general, I find the reading here very emotional, present. I have the deep affection that he also wants to show you, and he wants to, when he approaches you again, he wants to make it public, no longer a secret, to make public the deep affection towards you, and also stand by it publicly. Your counterpart, as mentioned, is still completely in this distrust, whether at all can live a relationship, because your counterpart has such a dominant fear of loss that there's a bit of a barrier to committing to something solid, because he knows with you, you are something very special to him. You don't play games with you. And there's more emotion here than your counterpart might have ever thought. Your counterpart will return to emotions, to feelings towards you, and also to warmth. As I said, I have a lot of emotion here, a lot of warmth, a lot of affection towards you. And I also see that your counterpart will be suddenly taking quick action, that suddenly everything will spill out of him verbally. So these words, then you can also see this unrestrained aspect when it comes to emotion. That he really starts briefly, it still stutters a bit, it's a bit tough, where you think, oh, just speak up and say another word and just keep going, keep going. That's how I see you. And then suddenly, as if the knot breaks, so then it goes nonstop. And it will really delve deeply into emotions. And here the conversation becomes very emotional, which will also touch you deeply, but you are on alert. You are observing yourself. I have seen you lying here observing. On one side is your heart, and you would love to embrace her now, but you are cautious. If not immediately, then distance, retreat. This is the position I see in you. But the question of whether your counterpart will come back into the warmth towards you, definitely yes. So let's take a look. How perfect is that, please? So on one hand, we have justice. And justice clearly states it really is about justice, and there is a wonderful solution. The redemption from this painful, difficult phase in this process that your counterpart is currently in. And the decision is very clear to him. He will listen to his inner core, listen to his heart. And then we also have the revival of love, your center, your togetherness. The decision, as mentioned, is completely in your direction. There are no more doubts. And your counterpart will also accept any guilt and will completely overcome the difficulties as well, even if it is still somewhat ignored now. Going into ignorance, but he will definitely come to an awakening. And a wonderful solution is also guaranteed, because where he still closes his eyes now, it opens them for him suddenly. All at once, his eyes open. Because more and more this feeling comes to you, more and more the longing and this warmth come. This longing that it can now take hold, he needs a little longer, your counterpart. So he is more in slow motion. But he increasingly comes to this feeling that it's you, the warmth. He longs for you. Of course, he tries all sorts of other things. What could it be? Could it perhaps be another bag of chips or a different kind of chips? Or could it be a new laptop or something else? Or new sneakers? Or anything else? Where he thinks, okay, maybe that's the longing. So again and again, I have this materialistic aspect very strongly. He is trying to make up for everything a bit with material things right now. And yes, but his bank statement will always confront him with something else, because I currently have more expenses than income with your counterpart. So what do we have now? 10 of Cups. 10 of Cups. And then we have belonging. That's where your counterpart starts to feel in this certainty. You belong to him, he belongs to you, you belong together. And it will return to harmony, as I said, if you want it, because you both belong together. And your counterpart will also come to this realization. You both have an absolutely good foundation for a shared future. And there will also be the conversation about the foundation for your shared future, which you will create or recreate. Because your counterpart knows with you he can arrive anywhere. You stand by his side supporting him. And he knows that he has found his home with you. And that friendship is also love between you. And that is developing again. And it moves out of loneliness into healing. As I said, also healing, reconciliation. The balance is being rebuilt between the two of you. And so practically, every cup is filled. And even if some cups are not completely filled yet, they are gradually being filled more and more. We mentioned earlier with the platinum, more and more is being added so that every cup is there and every cup is filled for both of you. And if we now take the 10 of Cups, in this yes or no, the 10 of Cups is a definite yes. Definitely. Yes. And yes. In terms of speed, we have somewhat slower movements. So it might take a little longer. But when it happens, it has stability. And it could really be 10 days, 10 weeks, 10 months. So within this time frame, but I'm always very cautious when it comes to timing. Time is always a pretty difficult endeavor because you control it yourself. The more pressure you apply, the slower everything becomes for you. Stay confident if you really want him or her. And I would say, where from now, from this maybe still is this, maybe there will be a definite yes. So now this back and forth, what your counterpart still has, this maybe he will definitely find the yes with you. The home, because he knows you are his everything. And there, and on this path, he will definitely arrive. And as I said, you will experience your counterpart and you will think, wow. You might have always felt that it was inside him, but he or she never let it out. Or maybe always in small pieces because they could show you, but you always felt this pain again. Shortly later at the counterpart, and this he wants to and somehow can't, but this blockage will definitely be resolved. Dear ones, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching, and I wish you a wonderful rest of the day.